Yes, people, hope you're all good. Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode is all about water loading. And is water loading actually as effective as fighters think? So, water loading has been around for years, and a lot of fighters think this is the main strategy that's going to get their weight down on fight week. Whereas that's just not the case. Whenever I talk to fighters, and I ask, what's your fight week strategy? All they say is, yeah, I water load, and I lose 2 or 3 kilos. And it's so hard to say to them, that's not how it works. I just have to kind of keep my mouth shut. But this video is me getting that off my chest, and actually explaining to you what water loading is, how effective it is, and when you need it, when you don't need it, and are there any other strategies you can use to get the same effects, really. So if we were to dive into the physiology of what water loading is, essentially what water loading is increasing your water intake for a set number of days. And what this does is it lowers your blood sodium concentration. And when your blood sodium concentration is lowered, your body suppresses antidiuretic hormone. So basically what that does is you're telling your body you're hydrated, essentially. So water is going to be excreted. So when antidiuretic hormone is suppressed, your kidneys excrete more water. So there's less reabsorption through the collecting ducts of the kidneys, and you produce more urine. And then on that final day, when you restrict your fluid intake, this urine output stays the same, whereas your fluid input goes low. So let's say high fluid intake results in high fluid output. And then when you restrict your water intake, less water's coming in, but your body still thinks that water's coming in, essentially. So it's still going to have that high urine output, which basically results in a net loss of fluid. So you continue the fluid loss, you continue urinating, and it leads to a reduction in body weight. So that's the physiology and the science. The main protocol, so there's only one research study on water loading. Whereas if you think about caffeine, creatine, there's thousands and thousands of studies. Whereas water loading, there's only one study. So even from like a science perspective, we still don't know a lot about water loading. This study hasn't been replicated, and we just still don't know, and we still can't draw firm conclusions just from one study. That's not how science works. But we know from this study, which I'll come on to, the results from it, and they are promising, and it is a really good research study, don't get me wrong. But the main water loading protocol that I use with my fighters is around 100 mils per kilo for 3 days, and then day 4 you reduce that to 15 milliliters per kilo. What most fighters will do, when I talk to them, they just think, yeah, I've got to drink 9-10 liters for 7 days, and then the third day out I drop it to 6, and then 5, and then 4, and then I drop it right down and don't drink anything. Like, that's not a strategy. That's just kind of increasing your water intake and slowly reducing it. Whereas you only need to do it for like 3 days, and then obviously the 4th day you cut it. And you don't have to go that high either. If your fluid intake is really high, above like 9 or even 8 liters is far too much, even for like an 80 kilo athlete. You do run the risk of something called hyponatremia, where your blood sodium levels get dangerously low, and that can become fatal. And your body can only process about a litre an hour. So if you're awake for like 12 hours, you're really pushing up to that boundary of actually how much water your body can tolerate. So you need to be careful. So how much can you actually expect to lose? So in this water load study, they had the control group at 40 milliliters per kilo and then they had the water loading group at 100 milliliters per kilo. The control group, 40 ml per kilo, lost 0.6% of their body mass. So for a 70 kilo fighter, you're probably looking at about 0.5 kilos. And that's not even an aggressive water load. It's probably close to their habitual fluid intake. And then the water loading group lost 1.2% of their body weight on average. So again, for a 70 kilo fighter, that's somewhere between 0.35 to 0.7, 0.8 kilos. So you've got to think you're drinking all this water for days on end just to lose 0.7 kilos. Whilst, yes, every gram matters on fight week, you should be in a position where every gram doesn't matter. And you should be making weight with kind of just low fiber, low carb, low sodium, and then maybe a little sweat out. I do like water loading, don't get me wrong. It's a really good strategy to lose, say, 1% of your body weight. But don't put all your stock on water loading on fight week to lose weight. Some people respond and some people don't respond. And that's what was found in this research study. Some people lost more than 1%, some people lost less than 1%. So if we had a bit of a decision tree as to whether or not you should use water loading or not, is the first question is kind of, are you cutting 8% or more of your body weight? If you are, then I would utilize a water load strategy, because if you're losing like 9 or 10% of your body weight on fight week, then every 100 gram matters. And if you can lose an extra 1% of your body weight through drinking a little bit more water, then brilliant. It's going to be a great strategy. The second one is, have you actually tested your water load before? If you have, then yes, you'll know if it works or not. If you haven't, then fight week isn't the week to try something new. Because again, it kind of goes to the third question: are you a responder or a non-responder? I even had someone this week, someone at his gym told him you need to drink 8 litres from Sunday onwards. And obviously he didn't listen to my advice. And what he done was started drinking 7 litres from like Sunday. And he woke up Monday morning really heavy. And I kind of said to him, what did you do yesterday? Because we cut carbs yesterday. You should have dropped weight. And again, he told me something at his gym, and I just said to him, like, look, mate, obviously you got me. Follow the water loading strategy that I recommended. Gets to Tuesday of fight week, weight's only like 1% less than what it was at the end of last week. So I said, okay, we need to really taper your water down now, because you're not a responder to water loading. So Tuesday going into Wednesday, we said 5 litres. And he lost 2 kilos that day. So what we can probably conclude from him is that he's not a responder to water loading, and it's probably not going to be best for him. So you have to know if you're a responder or not. Okay, so let's say this video probably trying to give water loading a bad rap, but I'm not. It's just people take it to the extremes, and they think if they don't drink like 8 litres, then they're not going to lose weight, whereas that's not the case. So like 2 other options if you don't want to go mad aggressive with a water load are just consuming your habitual fluid intake and then just dropping it to 15 mils per kilo the day before. Option 2 is just going slightly above your habitual water intake. So going 1 to 2 litres above what you normally drink will probably yield the same benefits, and that's what I've seen in practice. So say if you're drinking 4 litres of fluids a day, then just drink 5 and then drop your fluid intake to 15 mils per kilo the day before weigh-ins, and you should drop a decent amount of weight. So yes, water loading can be a really good strategy, and it is one strategy I use, but just to help you understand that the amount that you can lose from water loading is minimal, and it shouldn't be the main strategy you use on fight week.